is buffer time? What is buffer time? Is what buffer time?
Hi there, buffer timers. We're here again on a Monday night. I guess we're talking about Strange New Worlds, although I'd rather be talking about the 2006 epic, A Lobster Tale. But before we get into whatever it is that we're talking about, let's go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Dustin from Best of Trek.
My name's Scott. I'm from Opinions No One Cares About.
My name's Vanessa, and I run a channel called I Love Bad Star Trek.
I'm Ren from Ren Rants.
Hello, I'm Shereese, the Sci-Fi Savage on YouTube and all the socials.
And I went last. My name is Josh from Windgrace Project.
And
No one's really
Norman
last, Josh.
is
We're all in the
also
same
here.
room, remember?
Who
Hello,
said that?
Norman.
Okay, so we have very few questions this week. Personally, I have almost nothing to talk about. So let's kind of start with one of the more softball questions. Why isn't Sam more involved in this episode as a xenoanthropologist?
My answer to that would be because for some reason they want us to look at the Spock, what's his name? Colby? What's the boyfriend's name?
Corby.
The Spock Corby situation. So it has to, for some reason, only be the two of them. I thought we stopped caring about this 3 episodes. And by we, I mean me. So I was like, are we still talking? Are we still talking? I don't think I needed the emotional closure of the two of them talking at any point. So, but I think that was the point. It was like, we've gone 7 seconds without talking about Spock's love life. So we need to bring that back. That'd be my guess.
Don't worry, we're going to get more.
Yay.
Yeah, it just drives me a little bonkers because that's like one of the only things that we know about Sam is that he's a xenoanthropologist and like really into what he does. So like, why is he not involved in this mission where they are like looking at ancient alien technology? Like that's like the perfect fodder for like a Sam inclusive episode, and it's just kind of strange.
Especially
like
considering he was in it.
The away team are kind of like baffling with that in consideration.
Yeah, they haven't given him anything to do this season.
Other than almost get punched by Spock, or almost punch Spock, but not really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the flagship of Starfleet, they don't really like deferring to expertise very much. I just remember away missions, the way that they're staffed has directly to do with the nature of the mission. I can understand why Hora's there. Why Sam, like, and also like why Ahura isn't just like why Corby is making these sort of like shitty translations when Hora's right there. I don't understand. But yeah, the xenoanthropology Sam Kirk thing, it's like there's very contrived reasons to sort of include or exclude characters, and for this it's basically just a Saved by the Bell episode, and I hate it.
Was very much like, we need more landing party. Oh, we can have the 2 other people in the main cast. If they're in the main cast,
put it on there for more like love quadrangle between Spock, Corby, and Chapel and La'an now, because like the way Chapel reacted to La'an having a thing with Spock was so weird.
And I feel like when you bring your boyfriend up without saying, by the way, we're broken up, like before you do that, you have forfeit all rights to talk about Spock in any relationship he ever has for the rest of his life.
Yeah,
so
she threw him away from hot garbage and moved on immediately. And now she's being weird that he's like moved on too.
Yeah, when she's like, oh, we never talk when we need to talk, like, Spock. It's like,
you know
really?
What Sam Kirk needs to do is try to hit on Chapel, because then he'll go on away mission. And then Corby will have a problem. Yeah.
So that's what Ortega's problem is. She's not hitting on enough people.
Yeah,
but we get Ortega's brother and Uhura, which I wanted to see. So I was actually happy for that. I think I could have subbed out Spock with Sam because that makes more sense.
But this is the Spock show.
For security. Like,
Spock has to be there.
Here's my question. I know this doesn't answer the question, but I was thinking this, and you guys are the perfect people to answer this question. Did you notice those super cool alien, like whatever his name was, who was their tour guide or whatever,
Oh, Majel?
how he spoke perfect English before going into the temple and then no more English once inside. Did anybody
He
else
did
notice
say
that?
we're all gonna die.
But was that in English?
I thought it was.
No, I thought he said whatever he said for translated or Corby
He said a whole thing in not English.
Yeah, but he shouted he shouted like we're all gonna die right before sprinting for the door and getting blasted.
Like
But up to that point, you're right. He didn't speak any other English like while in there.
My extra textual guess is that the universal translator stopped working, but other tech works, so it doesn't make any sense. Yeah,
that's what I thought. I thought, oh, the translator stopped, and then I was like, no, wait, because they're all still speaking to each other. Like Spock's not speaking Vulcan, or, you know what I mean? Like I was like, I mean,
yeah,
that doesn't track. Like they should have not had
English
outside. What'd you say?
I feel like Spock would know English though.
Okay,
Spock wouldn't know anything about ancient Earth. Just
that's fair. That's fair. But I feel like he should have never spoke English because I don't think he said we're gonna die. He said like he saw the thing and he was like blah 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 blah, and then he started running. And then Uhura was like, he said evil. There's evil inside. Remember Corby translated and Uhura fixed the translation while he was running to death. So like
Corby is incompetent.
I mean, maybe we didn't need both of them. Maybe we did need both of them. I don't know, but we didn't need Spock like at all. I guess we did because he saved the day in the end, but like. We didn't need Spock.
Well, he was the crux of all the emotional trauma. So if he wasn't there, who would people pine after?
Didn't you feel it in your heart?
Yeah.
Weren't you so concerned with his feelings throughout this whole episode? No.
Well, speaking of like what Spock had to do, why is Corby overriding Spock's protocols, and why does Chapel go along with it?
Because Corby's an asshole. I kind of liked him in Wedding Project, but he sucks in this episode. He's just difficult for difficulty's sake, and also like I don't know, the fact that he completely dismisses the starved bodies they found as a threat is insane. Like no question as to how they might have gotten trapped in there and starved to death. Perhaps maybe yes, we should go outside to make sure that doesn't happen to us,
or at least like wedge something in the door. Or at least bring in those, they always bring in those transporter, what are those called? Those like little enhancement things they put in a triangle. Yeah, so they can always transport out of like rocks when they normally can't ever transport out. Yeah, they could have like been like, hey, these dudes starved to death. Let's bring a couple of those in. Let's beam them on down just in case.
We've never seen those this early in canon.
Okay,
but
I'm
sure they exist because we saw. I was just gonna say we saw a holodeck last week.
Sure,
but in theory, those didn't pop up until sometime near the TNG.
I wouldn't be upset at all if they busted that out.
You know,
canon.
You know, it's weird because it kind of carries through with the theme of not bringing Sam Kirk. It's like they're just not acting like Starfleet in this episode at all. Like just common sense shit, touching all this stuff with your bare hands. God. You know, like, oh yeah, I'll just, prick my finger. Why not? Like, we don't know what the deal is with this place at all. And then Corby's like, this isn't a Starfleet mission. Look around. You are outranked entirely by everyone around you. Yes, it is. Right. And yeah, I just feel like whatever Corby's yapping about, like we've had on Trek, like a lot of scientists that just sort of come in and, they're like act like they got their big swinging dick or whatever. Like I run the thing, and it's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And Spock is clearly like the highest ranking officer on the mission. So it's like, why does Chapel go, okay, Corby, like you're already with him. Who are you impressing?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of dumb to like my bigger irritation. Exactly. My bigger irritation is not that Corby's being a Corby. It's that Chapel's being a Chapel. Like it kills me. It kills me that she's like, come on, Spock, please. Corby really needs this. And then 2 seconds later when they're about to die, come on, Corby, please. Spock really needs your help. This is why we didn't need Spock on this mission. Like, this is so irritating.
Spock, Gamble would still be alive. Like, just saying. If they had listened to Spock, Gamble would be alive. He would not have bare hand touched that orb. Also, my favorite like moment of baffling nonsense that had no consequences but absolutely should have was Spock like lifting a random mysterious visor up to his eyes after watching someone else get their eyes melted out by some random thing in this like nightmare hellscape prison tomb palace thing. Like,
Oh my god, yes.
what the hell, dude? Like, even when the ball was like floating up to his face and he just sits there, he doesn't flinch until it like growls at him.
Opens,
And I'm like,
yeah.
you watched someone's eyes get melted out. Where's your like scientific like observation brain thinking perhaps this could happen again? Like, it didn't because plot, but like I almost wish it had because Jesus Christ, dude.
Well, maybe it could have it
technically,
because the glasses up.
Vulcans
They're
have a
used to it.
protective inner eyelid, so
Oh,
maybe
that's a
he's
good
okay.
point.
I mean, that's
That's
a piece of skin. That thing blew out, like melted his eyes out of his head.
Ejected
I don't.
his eyes allegedly. Like,
That was
insane.
a lot.
But I
You
mean,
got-
it can stop. It does allow them to like look at Medusans through a visor. So
Oh.
Still.
You gotta
The visor was
remember
cool.
though that they're probably used to Mbanga regenerating their eyes on every
Oh.
away mission. Just on this particular one, Mbanga's like, it's not working. It should be working, as if he's done this 100 times before. So I don't think they're too worried about it because they're just like, yeah, Mbanga's got
Get
this.
regenerated.
Just like, oh, you're the eye guy. You're the unlucky. You drew the short straw and your eyes fell out. So I guess here we are.
Wah, wah.
What's happening?
Wait for it.
I
Oh,
have
now we don't know
no
what
Lobster,
idea.
lobster tail's gonna start.
I'm literally, I'm not even on the page with like the video
With the
presentation,
countdown?
so there's no way that should have started.
It's chronotons. You know the drill.
Yeah.
That's weird.
The cause hasn't happened yet. That was just the
That's right.
I
You're gonna
swear
click the
I
button
hit
in
it
5 minutes.
trying to write something, and that popped up for me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay. Well,
All right, with Scott.
you
It's
gambled
Scott.
and lost.
That's all right.
Oh.
Trust me, I
Yeah.
don't care about this stream at all.
Is-
in any
is
way,
it
Welcome
shape,
to
or
me?
form.
section 31.
Right? I mean, that would have been. Is it just me, or are they trying to do something really gory and awful like every single episode except for the wedding episode? It's like,
Mhm.
I guess last week there was nothing gory. Somebody got shot, but it wasn't that bad.
Well,
But I don't
people
know.
got-
This,
people got eaten. Or no, that was
Last
2
week?
weeks ago.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was 2 weeks. That was, yeah. So, but I don't know. The eye thing, I was like, are we going to do this whole episode with the eye socket? We are going to do the whole episode. We're going to keep going with the sockets the whole time.
I
Like,
already forgot what last week was. Oh, the
it was
holodeck.
the
one.
holographic
Okay.
one.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
That was awful. I just wanted to say
Still-
that. That was awful. I'm not happy, Paramount Plus. I'm not happy, CBS. Like,
Like,
that's awful.
Little side quest here, Josh. You mentioned Section 31 a second ago. Has anybody else? Is anybody else's Paramount app when you go to it? That's one of the recommended things today. Was for me. Like every time I've logged into Paramount, it's like that's the first thing that it wants me to watch.
No, for me,
which
it's
seems
South Park.
weird.
Every single
Yeah,
time I
that's,
log
yeah,
in.
it's
generally
it's either
South
been
Park.
South
Big
Park or Star
Okay.
Trek. Or Strange New World specifically. I was just like, what? Really? You're advertising Section 31? Interesting.
It
Did
was
Michelle just
cute.
win another
Yeah.
award for something? Maybe I don't know.
The Vesda are in the system. Let's hope not. And then now we get more of them, and whatever. Like when he transported. Okay, maybe we're coming up to that question, but I was just like, send it into space. Is that not a thing we can do? But I guess not because of temporal
I mean,
transit.
they
things.
could have. It just
Something?
wouldn't probably have been safe.
For whom?
It still would have been free, I guess, technically.
I guess.
Because it needs to be trapped in some sort of extra planar place. I don't know. Maybe it's Franklin. Maybe that's trapped in the pattern buffer, and that's Franklin.
the
I
turtle.
love it.
Yes, the turtle. No, the
Like
guy
I
that
say, it's
Scotty
Scotty's
Scotty's
kills.
friend from Relics.
When he and Franklin were stuck in for 78 years in the transporter buffer. There was no Franklin. He just made friends with a Vesda.
I don't know which question you were looking for coming up, Shereese, because there's literally only 3 others.
Yeah, I didn't
One
know
of
what
them-
the questions were. That's why I was like, I don't want to jump the
Few
gun.
and
If
far
this-
between. That's what they are. This is literally the least number of questions we've had in a very, very long time. Scott, you had one that kind of goes off the regular Star Trek topic. Are there striking similarities to Doctor Who in this episode?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you
entire
explain a little
thing,
more?
really. Yeah, it's like the idea of an interdimensional prison, for one thing, seems very
okay.
Doctor Who to me. The
Okay.
fact that everybody could be in the same room at different points in time, the whole solution of like effect predating cause. As soon as they mentioned the fact that Gamble's eyes needed to regenerate, and then an enemy that wanted to exterminate them, I was like, okay, I get it.
Is that like the Peter
of course,
Capaldi episode where they're like stuck in that castle type of prison, running in circles type of thing? Although I like that episode a lot more than this one.
Yeah, I was thinking of Missy in her prison, but that actually makes more sense, his prison, because it was a out of time, whatever the heck kind of a
There's also
situation.
that two-parter where he lost his eyes.
Oh yeah.
Capaldi did.
So this whole episode was my favorite Doctor, but all tied into an episode that I don't love. It was my favorite Doctor doing things I don't love with people I don't like.
Dr. Corby.
Dr. Corby.
Because Blink is also like the big cause predating effect episode, and also has a scary monster that has something to do with eyes, since you can't blink.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello.
Hey. Rabbit about We're talking about Doctor Who in comparison to this episode.
Doctor Who compared to a lobster tail. Go.
Okay, I showed up at the worst possible time in the conversation then. All right. Good time.
Dr. Corby, temporal medicine woman. That's what we're talking about.
A show I would
It's like
not
not
watch.
even that, you know. Like
But yeah,
somebody died that
tell
you
us your
didn't want
feelings
to
on
talk either.
on Chapel and La'an and Corby.
Okay, I got one for you. Doogie Corby, MD. Is that? No, that's not good. That's not funny. That's old. Forget I said that. I kind of think it sucks. I kind of don't like it, and it kind of annoys the hell out of me. And I have lots of thoughts we can bring into this, but I watch this at least a couple of times to give myself some type of genuine opinion on this. And frustrated by it.
Chris Myers was awesome as Gamble, though. Like, I gotta say, like, the switch between like Gamble and the Vezda was terrifying. Also, he made me like and care about Gamble like so much immediately, which is partially why this episode made me super duper mad, because it features my least favorite new Trek trope of we get a completely like criminally underutilized side character. We get a single episode where they get to do anything or have any like actual impact, and like where we get to know them at all, and then we immediately get them taken away somehow, usually with a really stupid death that makes no sense. And yeah, I'm really mad about it because Gamble had so much potential, because like he had that like mentor-mentee relationship with Mbenga more so than Chapel does, because they're more on like an equal footing, whereas like he was still like really green and like really young and like learning the ropes. And like, I don't know, he was just so enthusiastic and like charming and excited to be there, and it just felt like so Starfleet for someone who like is so passionate about what they do, and he was so excited for the away mission, and it just I hate it. It breaks my heart. Like, I was excited to like get to know this character, and now no, he's just gone. And like maybe he'll come back in some form, but like now he's been like put through horrible, nightmarish, scary trauma for no reason. Like, could they just give me a random red shirt that they like develop for this one episode and then get rid of? Like, that honestly would bother me less. Like, much less. Like, give me my side characters and let me keep them.
Yeah, we also had like the dead bodies, so we already had like stakes of this place is deathy. We kind of already had that. But I will say a couple things. Maybe he'll come back as the Vezda, like when it takes over the computer or something. Maybe it'll have his appearance or voice or something. That could be kind of fun, because then we could get more, And then the other thing is maybe like I'm not sure if I actually want this character ever again, but clearly this is going to be a thing. And then also with like the fight with random girlfriend whose name I can never remember. Maybe this like an ancient enemy of the Gorn or something. And so maybe he'll come back as the personification of this really evil creature, and we'll get to see him play in a whole different way. And then the second thing I'll say is he did a great job being super creepy. Like, I fell for it. It was terrifying. And then the part when he just walks straight through the force field, like broke the guy's neck and walked through the force field. I was like,
Yes.
he's unstoppable. Like that. I think they really did all of that really, really well, because they could have just killed him and that's the end. But to like make him all evil, and then like he actually goes around the ship terrorizing people. He does a little more than just die.
Yeah, and like
For sure.
it's certainly not like one and done death, but they really like you know, gave him just enough time to ingratiate himself to the audience, and then to sort of like do a 180 where he's evil. You know, that's I don't know. It gives me the Commander Ellen Landry, the security officer
Discovery.
who died on Discovery. Completely, like, I was ready for her to kick some ass. She was chief of security, and then she was killed by a tardigrade.
Death by yeeting.
Yes. And then we have the weapons officer, the robot on Discovery, who was
Arium. Justice for Arium.
So it's like, why are we what is this trope?
Don't forget about Non, because as soon as we got to know her, we got rid of her too.
It doesn't make
alive.
better.
She's alive, but we got rid of her and then briefly brought her back. But we basically got we got one episode where we got to get to know her and then gone for most.
And
of the
then
rest
she
of the
was
show.
evil too. Arium, yeah, she was evil too. And it's like, why? What are we doing? And the crew doesn't give a shit. The crew doesn't care.
Well, to be fair,
where's the sad message like we got for like I don't know.
Yeah, they just continue on with their mission.
The crew not caring is very TOS consistent, though.
Yeah, but like, you know, there's like a difference between like you're going into an archaeological sort of mission where you're like kind of touch and go. Feel around for what this place is like. Okay, if it's too dangerous, maybe we need to go. Get the fuck out of there. Get the fuck out of there. Like, why are we sitting there? Oh, his eyes melted. No big deal. We'll just keep going. Like, why?
They were so like unbothered. That was wild. They're like, yep, let's trot him off for medical care.
We'll just pull a few eyes out of the jar.
Hand touching everything in here, sticking things up to our eyes.
Like, oh, I guess his eyes melted. Well, that's just the danger of going on in the way mission. No, it isn't.
Tuesday.
That's
shakes his hand a little. Good job, son. We'll see you later.
But you won't see us.
Gamble died instantly when the grenade or when the thing escaped, though, right? Because like that's what it seemed like. Was he? Yeah. Like, so he's just like suspended in like nightmare purgatory.
I don't think so. I think the Vesda took over all his memories and
that makes sense.
All of that, and then was just playing Mabanga because the Vesda's a dick. That's what I think.
Yeah, he was a zombie, inhabited body.
Sorry. Do we think the Vesda might have been right about Rukia?
That's what I'm wondering.
I really hope not, because that would be super upsetting.
No, I don't think so. I think he was just being a dick. Like he was just apparently. Remember when he broke the guy's neck and he was all like, "Your mother, she's suffering, and it's all your fault because she hates you," and then broke his neck. I think he was just being mean. I don't.
What was Robbie trying to say?
Sorry.
I wanted to say that all of this like conflicting junk, it makes it impossible to nail a tone down when I'm watching these new episodes. Like, I don't know how much irony I'm supposed to take in the horror and the mixing of the romance. I don't know where the line of laughter and the line of like genuine sincerity in someone dying is supposed to be. That feels like a major flaw that we've come to in S&W. Like, I didn't feel like this was a problem in season 1 at all. I felt like through season 2, this didn't feel like quite the same problem. I don't know where I don't know how the hell this has happened. Like, it leaves me scratching my head even when I'm enjoying what I'm watching. Like, I don't think I'm going to be giving this one a super high grade, even though I was entertained by it on a lot of levels. It doesn't, like, there are parts where it feels like I'm supposed to laugh, but I don't. Like, I feel like I should feel more sincerity, even though I know they want me to laugh on a certain level. It feels mixed up.
Well, I mean, I think they were like trying to be sincere about Gamble. Like they have the scene where like Mbenga tries to sacrifice himself for him, and then where he like is the one to call his family. but we're just not given enough time to sit with that because we spent like 8 minutes of episode or some bullshit like that on the Chapel Spock on Corby romance that literally no one cares about. No one cares about it. But yeah, I don't know. Like I actually think that if you would cut most of that stuff out, switch Spock for someone else, preferably Sam in this episode, I actually think this could have been a great episode if it wasn't bogged down with like the romance crap. Like the romance crap is really like weighing the show down at this point. And like I like romance. I am a shipper at heart. Like I love a good romance, but these are not very good romances and they take up so much time in a show that is not a romance, and it just keeps ruining episodes by making all of the good stuff get crammed into like the last 10-20 minutes because we've spent so much time on like the interpersonal drama. And now I kind of understand the like no crew drama rule that applied to previous shows, and I kind of think it was a good idea, honestly. Like Jesus Christ, I'm so done with it.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
It's got nothing to do with it.
So I was gonna say, like, thinking about TNG, they were always so like mature. I'm thinking of like Riker and Troy. Every time they hooked up with somebody else, the other one was like, "Happy for you, bud," and they just kept it moving. You know, they weren't like, "We need to talk. We need to talk about how we feel." I don't know. They did that a couple times, but like for the most part, it was just kind of like, be with who you want to be. It's convenient for today's story. We're gonna move on next week. I don't mind that they're doing all the hookups. I think I mind more that the episodes, at least, you know, I agree with Robbie, like something about season 3 is feeling a little popcorny. Like it's just feeling a little light and fluffy, and it's not feeling like sticky or like it's interesting. One of the things I love about Trek is the way it makes me think about different things, like with social commentary or what is sentience or wow, that's a life form that could exist. Like I mentioned the one with Uhura and the life form that like sings, which is so cool. You know, those kinds of things are this really transport me into this other world, but I didn't feel transported in this episode or last week's episode. I just felt like I was watching a really bad version of Twilight or something, where it's like I get their drama here, but I don't care about them, and I don't know. And I love your idea, Ren, of like the rewrite, because I'm thinking in my head like, okay, what could have made this episode better is if we take Spock out of the equation, Sam goes down with La'an, they go in, eyeballs explode, this is terrible, 2 people rush them out, whichever 2 people make the most sense, maybe it's Chapel and someone else, maybe Ortega's or somebody, and they run out, and as they run out, the doors close.
Yes.
Everyone's still in, and they're like, oh no, we can't get you out. Maybe that's how the other people died. Maybe that's why they starved to death, and they're trying to get in from the outside, and they're trying to get in from the inside, and be like, but we got to take care of this guy whose eyeballs have melted out. That would have probably been a more cohesive story, and then we could have an A plot and a B plot that have something to do with each other. And we didn't need the love story part at all.
For me, the thing that's missing is the thing that Gamble talks about right at the very beginning when he talks about the science behind reincarnation and coming back. They were like giving basketballs of parallels with this mission, like huge size, lobbing giant basketball size, like easy layup that they could have connected this structure and what it's capable of and the cure, whatever, and reincarnation. They could have tied those things together, and for whatever reason, they just didn't. And it's like, that's where the wonder and specialness could have like slid in. Why are we talking about La'an and Spock and Chapel and Corey? Who gives a fuck about any of that? Like, I want to see sci-fi. I want to see, like, let's expand our mind here. What exactly are we looking at? Like, why does anybody's eyeballs need to explode? Why can't we like explore this place and see what these people are about and actually communicate with them?
Why did they choose to make a major character like coupling that I was actually already invested in? Why did they just choose to fucking obliterate it and make one of those characters feel like the worst possible version of the like obliterated?
They're so immature and like they don't. They're so immature and they don't like they're like dereliction of duty all over the place. It's just don't. They're like, my relationship comes before my job the whole time. Like even Pike throughout this entire thing, Bartell, and Spock is, you know, oh, well, guess I'll be a cook for Chapel. Come on, what are we watching?
Oh man.
But they're not immature because La'an said we're all adults, aren't we?
To which Chapel's like, no.
You know what? You know what? Spock is better off because Leon is an adult that is setting boundaries, for God's sake. You know?
Well, she'll be dead in 2 episodes.
You realize, yeah, you know, I don't know. It just feels... this whole season is mixed up. Like, even making little
like La'an's the only person that's like...
landmines. Like,
yeah, La'an's the only person that's like, we're at work right now. Like, what are we doing about?
Yeah.
Oh my god, when La'an's like, we're just having fun, and then Chapel's like, are you good with that? Why is this your business? Shut up.
Yes.
And why would you ask what Spock thinks? Why you are just as present on the ship as he is. Like,
well, then she did the whole ditzy thing in the turbo lift, like, oh, we always don't talk when we need to.
Oh my god. And Spock's like, why do we need to talk? We're good. What is this about?
I'm not gonna like be too mean about this, but it has made me think of a couple of ex-girlfriends that drove me nuts. You know, like, why do we have to pick it? Why do we have to pick at the scab when we run into each other in public? Come on, let's just be a little civil, you know?
Yeah, it was excruciating and just very silly, and it's making me like Chapel a lot less, and I feel bad about that, but not that bad because it's just really questionable writing.
That it's like they took this legacy character and really like and a beloved legacy character in Chapel and made her this like okay, maybe she makes one stupid ass immature mistake and is an idiot for towards Spock and learns her lesson or whatever. But now with Corby and Chapel, it's just like this like tire on fire that's just rolling down the hill and you can't catch it. It's just so boring.
I almost feel like they Britta'd her. If you know the TV show Community, like there's a lot of people who point out like the downslide in Britta's character on Community, like to the degree that it became like a little verb that they would use whenever her character was acting like purposefully stupid, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one, even though I also don't like the relationship stuff that has surrounded Spock. But I'm actually more invested in that just because at least it's a season and like a track total arc with like Corby and Christine and Spock than I actually am in the main plot of this episode. We went to the goddamn Q Homeworld and we didn't actually learn basically anything we didn't know about the Q. Okay, they use quantum, they can manipulate things on a quantum level, which we basically already knew. So there's literally nothing in this episode for me. I don't like the love plot, but honestly, I'm more invested in that because at least it's a thing that's ongoing and we can keep seeing through, even if it is really bad soap opera.
The thing is, like, it seemed like they resolved a lot of this sort of tension in the wedding episode. So why we're dragging it into another episode and making it so that the mission can't go into like figuring out, together what the Q world's all about. Instead, we're like, oh, one person's not listening, and now a guy's eyes blew out of his head, and oh well.
Am I the only one who doesn't actually want all the details for the Q origin story? Like, I think it'd be interesting, but at the same time, I kind of think I like the mystery better because I feel like any explanation they're going to give me, I'm either going to be not that impressed with or like, it's really hard, I think, to like retcon lore for like such a prominent and interesting, I don't know, part of the show that's always been so mysterious because it's just really hard to live up to, I think. And so like, I don't know, I'm fine with like slight hints. I don't need to know much about it. I am interested in seeing Farrell Battelle again because she was hot and way more interesting than Battelle has ever been. And also she was giving Pike grief, which is fun because I hate Pike now. Like, I'm here for Farrell Battelle, but like, yeah.
I also vote for more Farrell Patel. Yeah, I like don't. I hear what you're saying, Dustin, and also I don't need a through line for every episode. Like, it could be Monster of the Week, like Trek has been with mini shows, and I'm totally okay with that. I guess my issue was more that the mystery and the wonder, like Vanessa said, or even like, you know, exploring strange new worlds, like some more of the sci-fi-y stuff, or even the sci-fi stuff that relates to societies or communities, or something that's a little bit bigger than two people who broke up and now feel weird around each other. Something a little bigger of a conversation, I think, is what makes Trek so special and what makes the episode so special. And they don't always need a through line for me, as long as the story is really good. And I guess I just feel like the story hasn't been very good. Like, even with last week with the holodeck episode, it was just like, love that we have a holodeck, love that we're doing like female Dixon Hill, like so fun, but also just didn't feel, it also felt very popcorny. It felt very thin. And so I don't know, that's more my thing. Like, it doesn't have to be an arc. It doesn't have to be a through line. I don't have to see where are they now, but also what was mentioned in the chat, like we didn't see anything about Ortega's PTSD, which was hinted at pretty strong in that first episode. So you would think that's how we're going to start the next episode. But then we had the wedding one, which is like, okay, fun. So then you think like the episode after that, now we're going to, oh, nope, we're not. She just was like being really messy on the bridge and then got dismissed. And now it's on record, but not on record. And that's it.
It makes me wonder if maybe this episode was meant to go before the Dixon Hill thing. Oh, wait, then you wouldn't have the beginning scene where it's all awkward and whatever.
Well, it can't, because they keep throwing in this is 3 months later. Like, they want you to know they're just like cruising through this year.
Yeah, that the thing with Chapel and Corby is like they're in love, and it's only been like a couple months.
It's my year. I know you always get nervous before I dig. I don't care.
Always. You don't always know
I've seen you have 2 whole digs.
I didn't like the I know you always get nervous before you dig line. I thought that was maybe like a cunnilingus line or something. Like,
oh my God.
That's fucking crazy. Like,
I just
what
thought
the
it
hell
was
is
cringe
that?
that they said it in unison. Like, oh, we finished these other sandwiches. Like, oh my God.
And in this episode, we see that he is not a cunning linguist.
I'm sorry, forgive me. The correct pronunciation is Colonel Angus.
Oh my God.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, Vanessa.
And on the lobster tail.
And there goes the monetization for this video.
So I guess I'm the odd man out because
monetize these.
I very much enjoyed the Q planet stuff. For the little bit we actually explored.
And they didn't have to hand us everything about the Q. They could have just dropped little something, you know.
Sure, they brought up more mysteries. I think they're intending there to be a Q arc this season. We're getting more of later.
Yeah,
that does seem to be it. And that's the thing. Like, all right, we got little pieces here and there, and if there's more to this, like Gamble's energy being coming back out of the transporter buffer, and Battelle, and like another piece of Q lore, great. But as an episode just by itself, this episode doesn't go anywhere. If it sets up something later in the season, I'll retroactively give this another half a point, and we're not to that yet. But
well, it does
right now, as it is by itself, it's not an episode.
Is M'Benga trapping things in the transporter buffer just sort of like his go-to if like he doesn't know what to do with something? Like, well, guess we'll have to buffer.
Like, where did it go exactly? Where did it go exactly? Because with M'Benga, he had a separate transporter that he kept inside of sickbay, so it wasn't like connected to the main transporter system, so it wouldn't be affected by all the other shenanigans going on. But Scotty seemed to just put it in the regular transporter, like boop. So I was kind of like, isn't it there when people transport now? Like,
it's realm of fear. It's the thing Barkley's going to grab, the little worm.
Exactly. Isn't it like a silkworm in the transporter now?
I think it's because, like, if you are in a medical emergency, I think it makes sense to actually have a transporter in medical bay. But then again, you can transport someone from anywhere to anywhere else. So I don't know.
Nadia, if you're still here, they didn't explicitly state it's the Q planet. That's based on context clues from another episode.
Yes. You'd really have to be paying attention to Wedding Bell Blues about like, oh, Corby was digging in the dirt on this planet. And then in this episode, we went to that planet. And Trelane had said, oh, he was digging in the old Homeworld. You have to put it all together. They did not
Girl,
spell
you're
it out
caught
very
up. You're
well.
fine. You're caught up. You're not missing out on anything. Like, you're fine. I didn't know that till they just said that. So you're totally caught up. There's no, you're fine. There's no major spoilers. The big idea seems to be a lot of love couple stuff sprinkled in with a little bit of trauma and a touch of Strange New Worlds. But mostly not.
That's one thing I will give this episode. We finally went to a strange new world. Yay.
Yay. And hey, they sought out an old life and an old civilization.
Mm-hmm.
But new to
boldly
them.
go where Corby went 3 months ago, but still.
Yeah, I actually like all of the like not love triangle stuff or love quadrangle stuff in this episode, honestly.
Love trapezoid.
Yeah, I thought that it was really like the exploring the alien structure was interesting. If the writing was just a little better vis-a-vis like, I don't know, the characters having some basic common sense would have been nice, but like the like various like quantum concepts were actually really cool. I liked the idea of them all being in the same room but on different planes of existence. That was neat. Mm-hmm. And I did like, it may have been derivative from Doctor Who, but I did like the wibbly wobbly timey-wimey escape and how they set it up with Spock being like, I don't recognize this injury. And then later he gets the injury and he's like, oh, and he puts it all together. I liked Schrodinger's statue. I thought that was neat. Like there is a whole bunch of like cool stuff here. I think my biggest complaint is that like we don't get to spend as much time on the cool stuff. Like we could have spent like 10 more minutes on the cool stuff, but instead we were
5 more minutes to each story.
The love quadrangle, and that sucked. But like the horror also really worked for me. If I was a child, guarantee this episode would have given me nightmares because my parents
1000%.
did not filter the episodes that we watched. I pretty much just got to watch them, and this would have given me nightmares for sure as a kid. But like as an adult, I like horror. I thought it was pretty good. It was scary. I was invested. The things I'm mad about like do definitely bring it down, but I'd say this is one of the better ones of the season, honestly.
I liked that. Sorry, go ahead.
I liked the different quantum realities part, but it needed to be more of like a video game lever challenge where like each one of them in a different part needs to pull a different lever, push a different button, find a different hidden spoke.
Yeah. That would have been so cool.
That's what I was missing. I wanted this to be an escape room.
So like move along home.
Cool
concept. Give me a little more Indiana Jonesery.
Yes, but not move along home. But that's what I wanted. I wanted more of an escape room, and they did do kind of
it already kind of was Indiana Jonesy. I mean, they had to take a leap of faith.
Exactly. So they pulled that straight from Indiana Jones, and then they had like, you've got the tablet from Planet X, and you've got the little watch thing from Planet Y or the ring. Put them together, and now we're all in the same. Okay, sort of. But I would have loved for it to be more of an escape room. I didn't need them to be in different quantum realities. They could have just been in literally different rooms. But in any case, I would have loved for there to be a little more interaction with their environment, using their specific skill sets that help them get free, right? Yeah. Like La'an is like, oh, I'm a security person, so I can tell that these are like the booby traps. And Uhura is like, oh, I'm like the language person, so I can tell that this means this and this means that. But if you put them together, it actually means this. Like that could have been so interesting. And to see each of their like zones of genius coming out, and they work together to get out, and those grave robbers didn't have those skills, and that's why they died. And then they like magically open the doors and they get out, and they're like, phew, better not go in that crazy place again. Let's tell Starfleet. Like
that sounds so like Goonies, but it's
I wanted the Goonies.
Goonies is better. No, Goonies has a fucking tone, okay? Goonies has a sense of what it's trying to do, damn it. Yes, Goonies. Yes, let's do
So does
Goonies.
this. It's just 3 different episodes.
No, that's not a tone.
And I think that's sort of like, when the way that these episodes are written, it's very kitchen sink, and also I think I mentioned this earlier. Somebody commented on the short that I did about this episode, saying that the writers had also done Buffy, and it really like clicked everything into place because it's like the tonal mishmash makes a bit more sense in that context, because the comedy and the gore and the horror don't really work when you're trying to smash them together in Trek, because Trek is nothing if not sincerely hopeful. And when you try to make Trek ironic outside of Lower Decks, it hits on a corner unless you know what you're doing. And that's why I can't make heads or tails of what this episode's even attempting.
But imagine they get out of the escape room. They're all high-fiving each other. They're like, we've made it. We've survived. We're so smart. And now we're a team. Go team. And they go back up to the ship. And on the ship in the B plot, Gamble has been neutralized magically from Scotty and his tech genius. And Peli is like, evil has been contained. And they're all like high-fiving each other. And they're like, as a crew, we're awesome. That's why we're the flagship. And then we see the Vesda glitch in the back. And then you're like, ooh, the hopeful message and the tone of togetherness and unity. It's going to be tested again, hopefully in the very next episode. Like that would have been better for me. It just would have been cohesive I just
feel like they really should already be a team. We don't need to have an episode of like, we're a team. Like they are a team. They're a crew on Enterprise. What I really wanted was to like get something, make that, like I said, that like magical connection, like the blood magic, the interdimensional stuff, the reincarnation, the fact that something floated out of Gamble as he was being exorcised, I guess. There's something like internal spirit related going on there. And it's like something, it was like really sort of like breathed on, but barely even really like dug into.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that would have made it a lot better personally.
Well, that's why I found Corby asking Spock a bit ironic. Like, you don't believe in, what is it? Suspending consciousness after death. Like he comes from a species that literally saves their souls in a cave.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's somebody who should comment on this.
I
Gotcha.
honestly just want to know, where did Pelia get the gun that she shot Gamble with? Is she always packing? Because like I feel like I watched it 3 times and I never see where she gets it. Gamble has a gun. Mbenga has a gun. Neither of them stop having a gun. Where did Pelia get that gun?
Okay, since we're on the subject of Pelia, how do we feel about her coming on to a much younger man than her? That was one of the most obvious come-ons in Star Trek history.
Well, I mean, her
Oh, I thought she
character
was
is like
being funny about being
8,000
on
years
camera.
old, so
Yeah, true. Okay.
I don't think
yeah,
age really matters.
Sorry. I forget about her being, 3,000 years old or however goddamn old she is. She still looks like Carol Kane. No matter
Her
what.
age is question mark.
I also don't think it was like an actual come on. I think she just likes the attention of the camera and was like being funny about it because that's who she is.
okay.
I
It
don't
was
think
kind
it
of flirty
yeah.
to me. It was
I
kind
didn't
of
think
flirty,
it was
like
flirty at all.
I was like, come to me and take pictures of me. That's so odd. That's such a strange thing to say to somebody just out of nowhere.
It feels.
I just thought she loved being in the
strong.
camera too. That's what I saw.
I thought
'Cause
she was
at
like
the
a
end of
diva or
her
something.
speech, she was like, "Do you need it again?" Like
Yeah,
she just wanted to do
that
like a
was
good
funny. I
performance.
liked
Is
that.
what I took it as.
Also, her speech
Okay.
was scary.
It was
I
good.
have like 2 minds of like the Pelia speech because on one hand, objective evil in the universe doesn't always feel very Star Trek, but on the other hand, I feel like when there's like rising fascism, it is kind of a good reminder that there are things that are objectively evil and bad, and they need to be called objectively evil.
The thing is, though, evil is a reflection of ourselves. It's a mirror image, Again, with magic as above, so below, it's a reflection of ourselves. Like evil doesn't come out of absolutely nowhere. That's sort of like a thing that like carries through Strange New Worlds, where it's like the Gorn, incommunicable, they're just horrible. They just want to kill you, and that's it. And the same thing with these spirits. And it's like that one thing that Star Trek's so good at is that even an enemy you have something in common with. Balance of Terror, my favorite episode of all time. It's like you're looking at the face of the enemy and it has directly to do with Spock because they're related, species wise. So it's like, that component, I think, does Star Trek and this episode a disservice.
But now they're both connected, the evil spirits and the Gorn.
Yeah. So now we might know why the Gorn are so darn evil, which would be helpful, I think. But yeah, no, I know that's kind of where like I was a little bit torn about it, where I'm like, I don't know about this, but I don't know. On the other hand, I do think there is a level of evil that is genuinely incommunicable. Like if you look at this current administration, they know the consequences of everything they are doing. They know the cruelty is on purpose. It is the point. It's objective evil, and there is no way to reach them because they are evil on purpose.
Yeah,
they know
but it doesn't happen in a vacuum. No, it doesn't happen all of a sudden.
But we also don't know the origin of the Vesda at all. We know basically nothing about them except that they are incredibly malevolent.
Yeah, it could be Skin of Evil all over again. This could be like the ickier side of the Gorn or something, right? Like
if this is the origin of the Skin of Evil, I will come back and give this episode a full couple of extra points. I want to know, how did Armis get to that goddamn planet?
Armis was a whiny baby bitch that whole episode. Like Deanna was like trying to give him like a therapy session. It was horrible. I hated it.
A whiny baby bitch like Trelane?
What?
But
like a lobster tail?
What happens with the Vesda? I think we might learn more about the species, and since we know it's on the Enterprise, like fucking around in the systems, maybe they will have to try to like communicate with it or bargain with it, and we'll like get a deeper story about that. That would be nice. I would like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll take over the ship, and then we'll have evil ship AI, which we've done a few times. But
then Zora could get married to another ship AI, and then we can just come full circle.
Oh man,
she deserves better than a Vesda.
If we're going to do like a ship marrying a ship kind of thing, we just need to go full on Futurama and embrace like the irony and just make it really like full on. Like if we're going to do irony in this frickin' show and we're going to try to attempt to do irony, we should like fully embrace it more. Like there's a lot of things you can do while still having a little bit of sincerity here and there sprinkled around. It's not hard. There's lots of people that do it all the time.
I don't ship the ships.
No ships? Oh, man.
That's the one thing you don't ship, right?
No.
As we run down on time, we have one question that we definitely need to touch more on. And it was really the only question I had coming out of my first watch. What's up with Battelle? What was that? We turned into a Jackie Chan movie for like a minute, and then something happened.
The Gorn helped her go Super Saiyan. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Now something that was. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
I lost my place. But something I just saw that I hadn't thought about is apparently, if you go back, what was the episode with the mind meld when Spock saw the Gorn in her mind?
The first one, maybe. I think it was the first one, the premiere.
Was it?
No, it was after that. It was after the
zombie episode?
It was in court.
Was the zombie one? Okay.
Oh, the zombie one.
So
okay.
Clarence mentioned on his stream that he went back, and immediately after that mind meld, is when Spock threw Gamble across the sick bay. So I'm wondering if there's more of a connection there than we realize, that they're laying seeds that we in no way have any reason to realize. But
I know Spock is laying seeds.
well, he's laying, yes. It's just happy time, fun times all the time.
I think
Thank God for
no labels.
No comment.
I think the Gorn and Vesda are definitely connected, and there was clearly some kind of like very primal reaction that's like encoded into the Gorn's like very DNA, which is interesting. She also calls them Vesda Pa, which like raises additional questions. Because so does the Macroon, Najal on the planet.
Yeah, there's also lots of shades of Pa Wraith and Prophet stuff going on here. Whether or not they're trying to connect
I'm pretty sure
all
this
of
is how
them.
you get Pa Wraiths.
Yeah, that scene, the fight scene, reminded me a lot of when Jake and Kira were possessed by the prophets and the Pa Wraiths. So,
and they even went so far as to show the thing when it went into him was orange, and when it went out of him, it was white. So
Ooh, good
I don't know
catch.
if they actually intended that or not.
Yeah, she's supposed to be a hybrid, and when she walks into sick bay to just be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" and then she sees like some terrible stuff is going on, they look at each other and they go, "You." So
Yeah.
they both recognize the thing inside of them as their blood enemy,
Fusion.
and then had to fight it. You know what? I'm sounding like I'm unimpressed, but it was actually it was my favorite Battelle moment, probably of ever.
It was so good. I really liked it.
Other than her in the court case, because I really like that episode, the court case with Una. Like that was my favorite Battelle characterization, where she had some substance and she had conflict with Pike, and she had like her values she stood on, and that's going to affect her relationships because of her. Like I thought that was really interesting. Everything else between that and this moment of fighting is like unremarkable, but that was fun and interesting. It only happened for a few seconds because I guess we didn't need a full on like celebrity death match for 35 minutes of the episode. But I am guessing that will come back at some point and be explained. If not, then it was totally useless. It was more loose ends. It was just more story ideas that aren't connected to anything else. So
we're
like,
setting up the actual meeting between Guinan and Q. It should happen sometime around this point in the timeline, in theory. Maybe those are really... Maybe what was released is either Guinan, because Q is like, she's evil, and Guinan's like, he's evil, and maybe like we find out that actual Q was released and this is his origin moment.
Or Pelia is going to get stabbed and regenerate into Guinan.
That could be a thing.
I don't like the overtones of that, buddy. That feels a little out of hand in a lot of ways.
Have you seen the show?
Okay. Yeah.
I would love to see even younger Guinan, honestly. I'm here for it. Like, if they're gonna give us, like, nostalgic characters, like, yes, give me more Guinan stuff. Her story has always been so interesting, and I feel like TNG did a good job exploring, but, like, there's so much left to explore.
The thing about it for me is, like, I don't want another legacy character dragged in and ruined, and for Spock to lay more pipe with Guinan. Probably, I'm tired of it.
But what if she's a puppet?
Like, as soon as he's gonna be like there on the transporter pad, like, aha, another fresh meat. Fuck that. No, I just want, like, I would rather have a little bit of lore with the Q.
Oh, Spock's getting with lore now too.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's a bisexual Spock. You know, that makes me feel comfortable.
So there's that. Yeah, I mean, so Josh and I had talked about this before about how, like, the cool thing about Strange New Worlds is that we got some new characters, and we do have like young Uhura, we have some younger versions, but it's like we also have these other characters like Ortegas and stuff. So I'm also not super attached to TOS, but like I'm not dying to see all the old characters like rehashed. Although I adore young Scotty, so like that was a winner. I adore Uhura, that was a winner. But they already have a cast, like they already have a crew, and I would be okay with them developing that crew, or even like Port Gamble bringing on new crew that they could develop and explore. And I don't really need all the Easter eggs or connections. But what I do need is like some good stories. I think that's my biggest complaint. Like, I don't care if they bring Guinan, don't bring Guinan. Talk about Q, don't talk about Q. Have them hook up, have them break up, whatever. Just tell me a good story. Don't tell me the beginnings of 5 separate stories that have nothing to do with each other and then end it with a big wedding or something.
Yeah.
Like, just tell me a good story that I can enjoy, that I can get into.
Like, instead of like 5 different concepts trying to jockey for position, one good story. You don't even need a B plot, just one good story. That would be great. That would be amazing. You know, like I'm dying for a classic episode. I think this series is capable of that, but for whatever reason, we're just like, oh my god, like she's with him and he's with her and blah, blah. Like I'm over it, man.
Yeah.
When's he gonna get with me again?
For a show that's had 2 really good seasons amongst a bunch of mediocre other Trek that's come, and now it's the only Trek show on TV, and this is the most mediocre season of them all.
I thought I was crazy because I remember really liking season 1 and 2, which I didn't watch that long ago. And I was telling everybody, you got to watch it. It's so great. You haven't seen it yet. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. And now I feel like a liar. I want to be like, but not this one though. But don't watch this season though.
This is not to get ahead of it, but this is my
Fine.
favorite episode of the weakest season.
Sorry.
It's
Well,
like
if you want to, you can start. We have hit the 1 hour
Okay.
mark. Josh, why don't you start out of 10s, and we'll go around roughly clockwise, and then Scott can go after Shereese.
Do you or any family member you have problems with love triangles or quadrangles or anything? If you do, don't watch this show.
Very triggering.
If you're fine with that, if you can get through the first 10 minutes, because I think that's what really weighed this episode down. It's like you had to wade through the muck to get to the story. And then by the time you got to the story, there was 2 pretty interesting stories commingling here, but none of them had enough time to fully develop in what they could have. When if you split those caddy sessions in the turbo lift and the corridor and the quarters and all of that stuff into proper storylines, this could have been fleshed out into something that's truly, I mean, I still think it's a highlight of the season, but it truly could have stood above the other things. But as it stands, I really like the Gamble stuff. I wish we could have had a little more with him before this to really feel it. If you go back to, I think it was DS9, I can't remember his name, Nunez, like he was a character that they did more of this with, and they gave a fake out. Like you're like, oh, I guess he's safe because this one thing happened and he survived that. But I don't know. I can give spoilers to that now, right, Shereese?
Yeah, you can. I was actually thinking of him the whole time. Like the whole time I was watching this episode, I was like, oh, they did it again. So
Yeah.
now I know the trope that whenever there's a character that they're like them, okay? Like them a lot. We've got nicknames for them and everything. They're going to kill them. It's like
But
now I
that-
know.
that's the problem with these current shows. At least back then, they were like cobbling things together on a weekly basis. They had this season planned before they did it. He was here the entire time. He could have been something else. And at least the last 3 episodes, the first episode, probably not. But they chose to really give him the stereotypical, well, guys, I'm recording the log in this episode and I'm so excited for my first away mission. This is definitely going to be one for the books.
Famous
Which was also odd because he was recording that log like in the past tense as if everything had already happened. So how did he record that log? But whatever. That part was probably my favorite. I really liked him. And then I enjoyed the stuff on the planet when they weren't engaged in emotional manipulation with each other, when they were actually trying to solve the situation. I liked the layering aspects of it. I liked the little tidbits of possible clues we have in there. Like we didn't mention yet that there's just randomly Chinese there, whether or not that's going to be explained later. I hope so. Otherwise, another thing there was no need for. But again, that was kind of a rushed conclusion when they could have done something truly special there. It's like they just ran out of time because they had too much emotional baggage at the beginning. But still, for what we have this season, this one hooked me the most. And I think that it just gives me enough to chew on, even though it didn't give me resolutions to feel like there was something there. And we got that great performance with Gamble. So somehow I'm giving this one an 8.
Wow.
All right, Robbie.
Okay. An 8. Jeez. That's
Out of 100.
Wow. Oh, okay. I can take it now. Spoonful of sugar, baby. Okay. You know what? This is a mess. Okay, this is the type of mess you get when a TV show is running on fumes a little bit. There are definitely parts I like about it. You know, a lot of fun visual things. I love the sweetness between Gamble and Benga. You know, it's so nice, and it's so frustrating that some of the most entertaining parts about this episode are actively dismantling that goodwill you build up in me as a viewer only to just like brush it away like it's crazy. I've been talking in chat. I was excited about a possible spinoff, Gamble and Banga, Bayou of Blood. I mean, it was going to be fucking huge. But now they've just slashed all possible spinoff possibilities. It's just frustrating. I hate the relationship stuff. Stop it. Get my boys back together. Do something. Stop this shit. Quit ruining Nurse Chapel, you idiots. That's what I want to say every time I see this crap. I mean, she has shown herself to be a more adult character in this show the whole time. Why is she acting like this jealous little teenager? We gonna be okay? Oh, I know you're all upset about me. We're gonna be okay. Like, shut the fuck up, goddammit. I'm so angry about this crap. Why would you do that to a legacy character? I mean, it's so stupid. Like, do we have feminists in this writing room at all? Do we have women in this writing room? What the hell is going on here? So, yeah, that stuff really drags down my rating because, I like the Indiana Jones style pastiche thing we got going on here. I like the alternate dimension thing, though it does resolve way too tidily in a manner that has no narrative payoff in any level. So I think I'm just going to give this thing a 6 before I pop a vein. Ren?
Yeah, so I actually overall, I think I liked this episode despite its major problems, because it has problems. As we've all talked about, that annoying new Trek trope of like introducing character, doing nothing with character for several episodes or several seasons even. Then you get your one episode where that character gets to have lines and maybe even a personality for several minutes until they are unceremoniously killed in a very silly and contrived way. It is infuriating. It makes me sad. And it feels like Game of Thrones, where they would introduce a character, but at least that usually wouldn't last as well. No, Game of Thrones would make that last a long time and make you suffer. But there was a mix. There was a nice mix where sometimes you'd introduce a character in the same episode, you'd get to know that character a little, and then you would be sad when they died. And like TNG used to do it all the time. In fact, one of the most like soul-crushing character deaths is a character we knew for one episode, and that was Cedo Jaxa. Crushed my soul, makes everyone sad. We only know her in that episode, right? Or no, sorry, 2 episodes. I'm wrong.
But she doesn't talk in that first
You
one.
can
Really get to know her in that one episode. And like here, we barely get to know him, and like you feel the potential, and you're mad about the loss of potential, but it doesn't have that same gut punch, and like it just undercuts the whole thing. And then you bog the episode down with all of this like romance stuff, and no one likes it. No one wants to see it anymore. We're all sick of it. Like we like Chapel, we like Spock, we like La'an. We don't need them to constantly talk about their relationships. I just want these relationships to like be, if they have to be there, which is fine, like have them be little background things where we occasionally get a scene here and there, letting us know they're still together, and then we go back to the show. We go back to them acting like professionals when they're at work. Like there's none of this like, ooh, is Spock gonna fight my boyfriend again? Maybe I'll ask his current partner what she thinks about that. Like, what is happening? It's such terrible writing, and it just bugs me because like there's so much to like about this episode. I loved the interdimensional stuff. I loved the entire like weird alien structure. I love an alien archaeology episode, period. They're some of my favorites. They're always so cool. And I liked exploring the weird like nightmare prison temple. Like it was cool. I even kind of like the Vesda conceptually. I think they're interesting. I like that we may learn more about the Q origin, although I really don't want too much information, Paramount. Like just a little bit, like a little sprinkle would be nice, but I don't need too much. Like I actually liked the resolution and problem solving, although it was a little bit like abrupt. It would have been nice if there were like more hints to like cause predating the effect, and then that's the like light bulb moment where it really all clicks. I think that would have been good. But yeah, I guess to me, I think it's just there's a lot to like about it, but it feels a little bit less than the sum of its parts. So I would probably give it like a 7.5, despite all my complaints, because it did have so much novel and interesting stuff. And I think once we got through the romance bullshit, we did spend a decent amount of time exploring it, just not enough to make it like a really like top tier episode. Like it's still middle of the pack. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
I think there were some good parts of this episode and some good directions. The new alien, gorgeous. Like, made me so happy. The whole makeup job, the outfit, the voice, everything, even just standing still with like the lines on the hands. I am here for it. Can we bring these people back over and over? I know the makeup probably took 17 hours, but worth it. Gorgeous. Probably my favorite thing was just staring at that person. Had nothing to do with the story. Didn't even need to. So I like that. I did like the idea of the Vesta. I did like the idea of the escape room. I did like the idea of the possession by the super strong being. I did not like the love stuff. I did not like the fact that I had to watch chunked out eyeballs for like the whole episode. I'm not a big horror fan. He could have had some glasses. I get there's no eyes there.
Bandage.
He could have had the mummy bandage. He could have had a visor. He could have had like a hat with a lower brim. We didn't need to see chunked out eyeballs the whole time. Like, I didn't need to see it. Maybe some people needed that in their lives. I didn't need that in my life. The first time we saw him freak out was more than enough for me. Didn't like it.
I only needed that like a moment. Okay, just a moment of that is fine.
Yeah, like when they first did it, he was like, ah, and then you see how
that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're done with that now. But we just
get bandages.
Yeah, so that was, I didn't need that. I didn't like that. I don't ever want to see anything like that ever again for the rest of my life. That was horrible. I also feel like just the story wasn't great. And I'm feeling consistently like the stories aren't great. And the fact that I almost turned it off and watched something else before remembering I needed to watch it so we could have this conversation, like that says something. That I wasn't even engaged enough. And it's not like I watch it like this, but I wasn't even engaged enough in my peripheral vision to like keep it on. So yeah, I have to give this one, just because the Gamble performance was so spectacular, I'll give it a 5.
Scott.
Me? I literally have no idea.
Yes, you, sir.
Okay.
Oh, I thought that was the rating.
So, as I pointed out, this borrowed seemingly a lot from Doctor Who, and I did like that. The idea of this interdimensional prison, everybody's in different spots. Like I said, effect predating cause. The part I don't like is that I caught them doing it. You want to crib from another decent sci-fi series, that's fine. Just make it more subtle. But not only did it catch them, they got to bury it under a whole name your geometric shape, as long as it's 4-pointed. Those two balance each other out, I think, to the point where I would give us a 5, but and then of course there's the whole fact that they kind of hammer home the Doctor Who thing with Gamble, who was briefly introduced and then killed off. It is quite literally like Stephen Moffat wrote this episode, and I can imagine it being a story for any Doctor, with the exception of Eccleston, because he never really left our solar system. So I'm going to drop it down just a little bit, surprisingly, to a 4.5.
Whoa.
I was at a 4.5 going into this, Scott. And the more we talk about it, the less I like this episode. I'm going to give it a 4, and I feel like that is really generous. Yeah, it's potentially set up, but we don't even know if it's set up. So by an episode by itself, that's all I can rank it here. It doesn't have anything going for it. It has potential setup. I agree with Shereese. I like the makeup and the new aliens and some of that stuff. But then you get to the just AR wall stuff inside the tomb, and it's kind of boring. And really that whole tomb thing, they didn't do anything. They had some cool concepts that they didn't play with. So you got this idea of different quantum realities, and then just eventually Spock's like, all right, leap of faith. It's not earned. Whoops. It's not an earned thing like in Indiana Jones, where we have stepped and gone layer for layer and moved through the plot. There is no plot here. There is nothing. We went to the Q Homeworld. And like I can see where Ren wouldn't want to learn more, but I like that almost every time we bring the Q into something, we learn just a little bit about them. We went to their homeworld, and I don't feel like I know anything new about them other than some other aliens settled on their homeworld after they ascended. Great. But overall, like, I feel like a 4 is generous, because I also watched Q2 today, which, I mean, is just, it's a pretty middle of the road episode also, but there's something there. There's a moral to the story. There is a story. We learned something.
There's character growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's
There's
nothing
two
here.
Delanceys.
Yeah.
I mean, the love plot, I don't like either, but at least it's something. Otherwise, this episode has nothing. So I think a 4 is very, very generous. Go ahead, Vanessa.
So, like, the Q from the beginning are as close to a god as we have on Trek. And we go to their homeworld where there's some spiritual elements there and these interdimensional things. And we get this sort of mention of reincarnation at the beginning. It's like, you know, on DS9, there's this discomfort around spirituality, sort of like in a scientific arena. You know, how those two things can sort of butt heads is a mode of discussion. That could have been a theme, and they didn't go there for some reason. Instead, we get interpersonal drama, and you know, I hear what you're saying, Dustin, with regard to like it being something. I feel like it just sort of dissipated the rest of the story into the far corners. Like you get, you know, possession over here, you get this, you know, fight over there, you get the eyes blown out of that guy's head over here. Like it's just sort of like taking up way too much real estate for what it is. So yeah, and then the trope of bringing in a character and killing them, that really doesn't ingratiate me to the show. It feels like, oh, I'm going to give you something you like and then I'm going to take it away. Like you can only do that so many times. Not into it. Also, it just feels like we're edging into Berman Trek territory with the way that they're writing women to sort of be so like, I'm here to counsel men. We didn't really talk about it, but like Uhura was like co-regulating with her partner, and it's like Chapel is counseling, you know, Corby, and like, you know, La'an and Spock are, you know, they're trying to balance each other. It's like why are the women like taking care of like being mothers to these people? Like we're supposed to be focusing on a job anyway. So yeah, I give it a 4 because I'm glad they're going on a home world. I'm glad they're going on a Strange New World mainly. I'm glad they're off the ship. Thank God for not another bottle show. Jesus. So yeah, 5.
They were off the ship for Zombie Planet.
Yeah, but right, but like, yeah.
I think that's it though. I think they were on the ship for all of the rest of the episodes.
Yeah.
Other than the premiere in Zombie Planet.
The shipyard for the first episode, but it doesn't really count because it's still a Federation structure.
Yeah, the Zombie Planet was an
Vanessa,
Federation
you said,
outpost.
okay, you said 4 first. Okay.
Yeah.
I regret my 6, actually. That was too generous. I regret that 6.
I also now feel a
burned into
little
history.
overly generous, but I'm going to stand
Yeah.
by it because I did actually have a good
Fair.
time with this one. I don't know.
I was somewhat entertained, I will say, yes.
I had a good time, but I did a lot of the heavy lifting of trying to figure out what was actually in the episode that wasn't there. So.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing that actively pisses me off. Well, okay, Gamble. Killing Gamble. All right, so never mind. No, there's stuff that actively pisses me off. Fine.
God, this has been a hell of a buffer time. I don't think we've had like this divisive of a buffer time.
Yeah. I do love that we were like, oh, there's nothing to talk about. We might end early, and we're like, oh,
Yeah, I
never
thought this was
mind,
going to be a
actually.
half-hour stream, and here we
We're
are, an
so
hour and 20
over.
minutes.
You know,
Gotcha.
I don't know. I
Man,
feel
what-
like we're really good at a bitch fest when there's a
Oh,
lot to
man.
criticize.
I think that's our superpower as a group.
Put the
Actually,
best episode
Yeah.
of the season in front of us. It'll be like,
Thank you, Nadia.
we'll be like, it was great.
Well,
It was great.
I liked it.
Everything about it was great.
It happens.
That's why I'm
Oh my
friends
God,
with
this
you
is
guys.
great.
We all love to fucking whine, you know?
Yeah, like the
feels good.
thing is about this comp het dynamic that they're keep shoving in here to speak to Nadia's comment about women having to take care of men in real life. This is the future. There's supposed to be, more of a balance. That is, we're in 2025 now. Why are we writing this like, oh, I'll take care of you? What the fuck?
oh, come on, Chapel. Don't be one of
Yes.
those women.
Yes, and that's why I was asking earlier, like, are there women in the writers' room? Are there feminists in the writers' room? Because even as like a dumb, monkey brain man, I understand that this is just stupid, like junk, like romance tropes that are just all about like making your man like feel good. Like that's what the women are there to do. I hate this.
Stand by your man. Okay, we've been
Maybe
here
we'll
for
get an
a
episode
while.
we like
Yeah.
before the show's over. Maybe we'll be like, oh my gosh. This
I
is
hope
the
so.
best
I
thing
would
I've
like
ever
to
seen in my
hope
life.
that
we're
we're
halfway through the season. We have 5 more episodes.
the rest ought to be better. I
have
hope.
I want to see Battelle go Super Gorn 3 or however many.
Yes, I do
numbers
too.
she can get up
Super
to.
I don't-
Now,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
relationship.
sounds good.
Girl
Yeah,
Battelle.
boy.
That's
I
a
think-
relationship development I'm invested in. Pike and the Gorn woman.
I
Like,
think
how's
the
that
gonna
next
work?
episode
How's
might
that
be
gonna
her
work
last.
out?
Oh my god. Let us see their
Like,
Gorn baby
suffering.
like it's a goddamn episode of V. That'd be amazing.
I'm nervous about the Spock episode because it feels like it's just more Spock, and I feel satiated on Spock at the
Which
moment.
episode hasn't been a
Yeah.
Spock episode?
And like after
Strange
using
New
a
Worlds
crew
is
member
becoming
as a
ridiculous.
literal buffer between himself and Corby, like I'm kind of over him for this season.
Oops,
I have
also-
high hopes for Patton Oswalt. So
Oops, all romance. I do love
I'm here for
him.
that.
I think it'll be fun, but I love a filler episode, but even I have to admit, like, this is quite the ratio of filler episode to episode for such a short season. Like, that's a lot of filler.
It makes me wonder what we're
correct.
leading to. Like, what's
And
going
I
to be
think
the
it
grand finale?
It makes the non-filler
Okay.
episodes get like super cramped because then they're like, okay, now we have to use all 7 ideas we had for other episode that is an actual episode in this one episode because we don't have 24 episodes in this season, and you're just like, cool.
But it always makes me think of Black Mirror, which I know the episode lengths are longer; they're twice as long. But if you watch a Black Mirror episode, it's like a good story, right?
Oh, I-
Like with the
Yeah.
time that they have, this one capsulated story, you're like, wow, I totally
Yeah.
get it. Like I
Where's
feel like
the-
I've had an experience.
Where's the anthology ethos to, the way Strange New Worlds began, where it's like nice story, 1 episode, done.
And they could make a longer episode. Like, there's no real reason they can't add an extra 12 minutes or something
Yeah.
to one of these.
But they don't need to if this is what they're going to do. If
No,
they're going to be
true.
like, part 1, the love story. Part 2, the eyeballs blow out. Part 3, well, then this is an anthology in 1 episode. Then we don't even need more minutes because what are they going to do with the more minutes? They're just going to put another story and another story and another story. I think it's
Part
just
4,
like,
a lobster tail.
2 breakups in 1 episode.
Strange New Worlds jump scaring you 30 minutes into the episode with the theme song.
I would say though, Black Mirror does not have the consistency of the first couple of seasons of Strange New Worlds. Like, I will give Strange New Worlds that at this point. I don't think Black Mirror
first
has
couple
the same
seasons.
consistency.
I mean, it's not a fair comparison by any metric. I'm just saying the fact that
sure.
as the fact that you can tell a story that's so compelling in the time frame that you have, I don't. It's starting to feel a little bit like a cop out to be like, they only have 10 episodes. They can't possibly make a good one.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
trying to feel like a little bit of a cop out. You know what I mean? Especially since I really like the first 2 seasons. I'm like, you could have 10 good episodes. Like, you don't need 26 to get out 10. Like,
Yeah.
I
know
certainly
what
hope they figure
happened.
it out.
Like, what happened between last season and this one where they've just like lost the magic. It's weird.
All Trek went
We're
away, and
25
all eyes are on this show now. So I think everyone might be
Yeah.
meddling.
Oh, that's
I mean,
a good point. That would
We're
explain a lot.
25
Actually.
minutes. We're 25 minutes past our like deadline. Like that's how upset we all are. You know, we've just been sitting here
I thought
whining
this
for 20 minutes.
I didn't even think we would get to 25 minutes
Yeah,
total.
Total.
this is
Here we
crazy.
are, an
It feels
hour and
like.
25 minutes, and
Like,
I'm
this
going
is
to cut
so
this thing.
frustrating of an
Underestimating
episode.
our ability to complain. I think that's
All right.
The
Well, I want to
important
thank
thing
you
is
guys
it
for
brought us
joining
together.
me and complaining tonight, because this has been fun. I feel so much worse about this episode than I did to begin with, and I'm glad to have talked about it and through it. So thank you guys for bullshitting this with me, and for all of you who tuned in. Maybe next time we'll tail a lobster or something. And until then, live long